Parallel bars is a very popular sports equipment that can be found in any gym. With the help of this equipment, you can do amazing exercises such as push-ups on parallel bars. This exercise is one of the most effective and powerful ones out there. There are not many movements that can be compared in intensity. But what happens if you do this exercise regularly? Should it be done every day? Or is it too much, and is it enough to do 2 to 3 times a week? And what happens to our body? What transformation awaits it if we regularly do push-ups on the parallel bars? Watch this video till the end, because we'll go through all these questions in great detail. Let's get started. By the way, be sure to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell. Don't miss any of our new videos. So the first thing to talk about is strength gains and muscle mass gains. Parallel bar push-ups are a great workout for the lower pectoral muscles. For pumping the lower pectoral muscles, this is the most powerful exercise. However, the division into upper and lower pectoral muscles is hard to detect. But a slight shift in emphasis does take place. In addition to the powerful effect on the pectoral muscles, push-ups on the parallel bars also works the triceps, deltoids, and back muscles. There are also certain techniques to shift the load more to the pecs or more to the triceps. So if you want to pump your chest more, you need to shift your center of gravity forward. We slightly tilt our body forward and try not to move your legs too far back. You can keep them either straight or even bend them slightly at the knees. If we want to work the triceps more, we should not bend forward so much. We keep our legs straight and turn our elbows back as much as possible. We shift the center of gravity more to the palm. There is another approach, which allows us to shift the load a little more towards the deltoids. For this, we need to increase the upper part of the amplitude. And we can achieve this if we round our back, and by feeling the center of gravity, we'll shift a little bit more to the thumb and index finger. There's another piece of advice that's sometimes given, but some people look at it skeptically. If you want to pump the pectoral muscles more, then the elbows should be spread apart. And if it's on the triceps, then we take them back. It sounds logical, and it is, but there's also one problem. The thing is that if such an exercise like a push-up on the parallel bars has our elbows spread too far apart, it can create increased load on our shoulder joints. And it's potentially injury-prone. So for injury prevention purposes, it's not recommended to spread the elbows too far apart, straight out to the sides. To pump the chest, the elbows should go a little bit backwards, but at the moment of connection, we should feel how we squeeze our pecs. This is such a movement which should be felt in practice, and then it'll have an explosive effect on the pecs. Is it worth doing the parallel bars every day? Since this exercise involves such relatively large muscle groups like the pectoral muscles, it's not recommended to do it every day. In addition, it's quite high intensity. Multi-joints require significant resources and require a relatively long recovery time. It's not a forearm muscle and it's not an ab muscle that you can pump every day. Although, even for abs, every day is probably too much. You should rest for at least 2 days after doing push-ups on the parallel bars. I wouldn't recommend doing parallel bar push-ups more than 2 times a week. If we can perform more than 20 repetitions, it's better to increase not the number of repetitions, but to increase the weights. There are also some very important nuances to remember. The fact is that this movement is potentially harmful. You can get yourself in trouble on parallel bars if you don't follow the technique and don't know certain nuances. What are these nuances? First, we need to keep our body static at all times. That doesn't mean it has to be flat. No, it can be tilted forward if we want to emphasize the pecs. But if we're leaning forward a little bit, then we must maintain that position at the top and the bottom. We should not sway. The angle of the body should not change in the upper and lower positions. Here, we slightly lean forward, and in such a slight inclination, we continue to work. Another point. You must remember about healthy amplitude. It should not be too short because it leads to low efficiency. But it shouldn't be too long either. Sometimes people make this mistake. They think, the harder that I bend, the more I squeeze, the lower I go, the steeper I get, the more I stretch my muscles, the more effect I'll get. In reality, this is just fraught with injury, and it won't add muscle growth. You should lower yourself to a position that you're comfortable with. When you start to feel that the tension's already too strong, there's no need to go any further. If you want to stretch, do separate stretching exercises without weights. And in push-ups on parallel bars, you don't need to train in stretching. It's a different story. In most cases, people are comfortable lowering themselves down to the point where the arm bends about 90 degrees at the elbow. Don't bend down any further. Save your joints and ligaments. One more thing that is also very important. When you're at the top point, you need to lower your shoulders rather than slouching. This is a significant point that'll serve as injury prevention. When you have risen to the top point, your head and neck should not be pressed into your body. This slouching state should not be there. On the contrary, you've risen to the top point, and your head and neck are straightened and stretched out. If you feel you cannot do it and do not have enough strength, then you need to reduce the load. And in no case in such an exercise as push-ups on the parallel bars, you should not chase the number of repetitions to the detriment of technique. Push-ups on the parallel bars are not just a bicep lift on the Scott bench. It's much more complex, and you need a very careful approach here. By the way, write in the comments, have you ever done push-ups on parallel bars? And if you have, how many times did you do the lift? Or maybe you've never done it. Tell us, it'll be interesting. And now, I highly recommend you to watch other videos on my channel. The link to the video just appeared on the screen, and the link's also in the description, and I've also pinned it in the top comment. Be sure to watch it, it's very interesting. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. See you in my other videos.